have just overheard a very interesting conversation and I need to get it off my chest before it consumes me, because my brain is just like ding 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 ding, all the right points, but they can't really see the point. There are these parents who are having conversation about their children and they're complaining about how their children, they're just waiting for a job, they're not reading their room, they're not doing business like many other children from a certain tribe. And I'm literally like, of course, why would your children go start a business when you literally taught them to work hard in school so that they can get employed? Like, the entire thing about their entire education was about getting employed, but now you are shocked that your child is looking for a job, not getting a job, suffering from unemployment. But who do you think got them there? Who do you think is responsible for putting into their heads that the only way that you are valuable is being employed? The fact that these parents fail to see their contribution to making their children these failures is absolutely fascinating and astonishing at the same time. And also the audacity to just try and blame their children for not starting a business, and yet even in their own families there's no one who has a business. Even your own children cannot take inspiration from any of you, and yet you expect them to somehow do something different. You're the same person that has been demonizing anything different other than employment. This is what I call intellectually poor parents, and unfortunately this is a lot of parents. Look at this cutie. Why are you running away from me? I'm not going to do anything to you. If I were to describe an intellectually poor parent, I would say, one, they never think. Critical thinking skills and thinking skills are out of the window for them. And most times, these are the people that ended up having children because they thought that, oh, their children are a good legacy, or their children are going to be a retirement plan. They really didn't think that they bring in human beings into this world. And so they really find it so difficult to raise children, but they do not want to admit it. And so anytime they find difficulty, they blame it on their children. They want to punish their children. And they end up causing a lot of dysfunction. They are the ones that don't even know how to raise siblings together, to create healthy relationships between siblings. They create competition between the children, and a common result of this is children fighting over inheritance, because they were never really treated as human beings. They were always treated as a thing, as an afterthought, and most times as a burden. These are the parents who are always trying to outsource their parenting. They want nothing to do with their children, so they take their children to schools, to boarding schools, and they want the teachers to literally do the parenting. And it really means that they are never involved in the lives of their children. They don't even guide their children, but they somehow expect perfection from these children. They somehow expect these children will never make mistakes. Their children are the ones that even when they are away from home and they make a mistake, they will never tell their parents, because they just know they're going to be treated in the worst way possible. These are the parents that don't keep up with the world. They don't know what is happening currently in the world, and they don't guide their children to thrive in the world. Even when it comes to children choosing their careers, they don't think about the role of education in the world that we're in. Just push their children to do whatever it is that these parents want. Like, I'm the parent, you have to listen to me, I'm the boss. That sound is absolutely blinding. Much better there. And essentially this means that if you have these kinds of parents, you're more likely to be someone who is insecure, without confidence, someone who has a low self-esteem, someone who is a people pleaser. And all these qualities are not going to help you in any way, because they're going to hold you back in very many ways, whether it's at work, whether it's at school, whether it's even in relationships, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships. And you know, the funny thing is that these are the parents that undermine things like social sciences, psychology, sociology. They undermine the arts. They don't see it as something valuable, and this means that they always deter their children from pursuing these courses or this career field. They really end up brainwashing you that there's only few correct ways of being successful, and this hinders you in a lot of ways. And this is something that we are currently facing in Kenyan society. The unemployment rates are always going up. Young people are saying we don't have jobs. There are so many opportunities for jobs, but because a lot of people were brought up being told that there are few quality or valuable jobs, that is what everyone is going for. And a lot of people are not actually even thinking outside of the box because they don't even have the tools to think outside of the box, because they had parents that taught them not to think, that punished them for thinking, for being creative. And one of the things that I'm constantly seeing in some of my videos is a lot of Kenyans actually telling me that creating videos is useless, that I'm wasting my time creating videos while I'm at home. And I'm like, that is because you actually don't see the value in it. We are talking about having access to global platforms right now. Global, not just local. These are global platforms. You could literally find people who are interested in your services globally, from literally wherever. I am in my village, I am working from my village, because I didn't confine myself to this thinking that there is only one way to be successful, there is only one way to do work, because I want to feel fulfilled in the work that I do, and have found a way of creating work for myself that is good for me, but that is also contributing to society in the way that I want to. And you know what, that would never have happened if I was always telling myself that, oh, there is only one way to do things. If I was always telling myself, I went to school to become a journalist, but I can't even get a job in a media station. I mean, media stations in Kenya, a lot of them are closing down. They can't pay people anymore because advertisers have moved to social media, to YouTube for their advertising. You can imagine all those people that always wanted to study psychology a long time ago, but they were told that it's not valuable. And right now we are at a point where a lot of people are suffering from mental health, and this means that there's a rise in demand for psychologists and psychotherapists. If you had a parent who was not thinking clearly, who was not looking at the trends in the world, who was not reading studies about what is happening to people, this is what you get. You get a lot of parents that are misleading their children, parents that are basically setting you up for failure. But it's really one thing having this kinds of parents, and it's another living with victim mentality and blaming everyone and the world, instead of actually looking at where you are now, being like, I followed everything that I was told by my parents and it didn't get me anywhere. I clearly have to do something different. You have to take charge of your own life. You have to build yourself from the ground up, because remember, you come from a background where you were not taught anything about yourself. You have to rediscover yourself. You have to build your confidence. You have to learn how to communicate, how to develop interpersonal and intrapersonal communication skills. You have to be addicted to wanting to change your life. You have to go ahead and just do everything on your own, or else you're just going to wallow in a hole of pity that is not going to help you in any way, and your life is just going to continue being horrible. And I do understand that it's actually not easy to do that, because it means, one, acknowledging that your parents were wrong. And a lot of people cannot get themselves to do this because they worship their parents. And after you've acknowledged that they were wrong, you need to stop listening to them. You can't keep listening to people who are not living the kind of life that you want. And that includes your parents. Your parents cannot be telling you to start a business and yet they've never done it. They are going to mislead you. What you need to do if you want to start a business is look at the people who have done it and learn from them. Whether it's people around you, or nowadays we have social media. You go to social media and see people who have built businesses from the ground up, and you learn from them. You read books, listen to podcasts that will teach you to become the kind of person you want to be. You need to be the kind of person that is always asking questions. Look at how beautiful all of that looks. I never really get tired of this view. Just magnificent. And under this setting sun, not really setting, but the evening sun, it's absolutely magnificent. And there is me. Hello. Always taking a moment to film when I can. You know, one thing that I really find to be very sad is how a lot of people are not able to really think creatively or come up with solutions to problems. They don't have problem solving skills. I mean, right now we're at a point in time where we are seeing a change in work or work culture. If you're someone that still thinks that sending a CV to a company is the only way to get employed, you've already lost the ball. Everyone has a CV nowadays. In fact, in a lot of companies, it's no longer human beings who are looking at these CVs because they just don't mean anything anymore. It's the AIs and the robots that are looking at your CVs. And this is why you're finding a lot of people who are saying that I've applied to over 100 jobs and I'm not even getting a reply. The competition is so high, and there are so many people who have even come up with businesses about how to write your CV so that you actually get a job, because it has become so complicated. And so really the thing right now is about really doing something that is going to get you noticed by a future employer if you want to get employed. employed. And social media and the internet is the way to do it. There are literally so many YouTubers who showcase their skills through their YouTube videos, and then they're able to get clients. Talk of videographers, photographers, graphic designers, even teachers. I mean, right now, if you're seated somewhere and you have not taken advantage of all this technology to showcase your skills, what are you waiting for? I definitely understand that it's not easy. But at the end of the day, the world is not gonna go easy on you. Just because you had parents that didn't prepare you for the real world doesn't mean that the world will go easy on you. You have to suck it up, accept that it's not going to be easy, and start working on it. Because one thing that is for sure, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. And you have to learn to do it on your own. Because if you have an intellectually poor parent, they're not going to support you in any way. In fact, the only kind of support you're going to be getting is criticisms about how whatever it is that you're doing is never going to work. One of the reasons why the tagline for this channel is Ask Questions, Challenge Perceptions, it's literally because it has saved me a lot. The reason why I'm so confident in myself, to a point that even if I hit the rock bottom 1,001 times, I always know that I will come back up, is because I know how to study the world, I know how to ask the right questions, and most importantly, I know how to really stick on my own path even when people around me are telling me that it's the worst choice. Being someone that is always curious, that is always hungry for knowledge, that doesn't believe in everything at surface level, that is always going deeper, always asking question after question after question. And of course, I know that a lot of people brush me off because I do not have the material signals of being successful. I am not wearing the most expensive makeup or doing my hair every other week. I'm not wearing the most expensive of clothes. But you know what? A few months from now, a few years from now, people are going to be looking at me and they're like, oh my God, I want to live your life. I want to be like you. And then you tell them the blueprint that you followed to get there. And they're like, I don't think I could do it. Well, you know, not everyone has a home that they could stay at and build their dreams. They'll throw all kinds of excuses to try and make me feel like I don't deserve whatever it is that I'll have, wherever it is that I'll be at, because they do that to protect themselves from accepting that at the end of the day, you're the one that is in charge of your own life and no one is coming to save you, and you have to figure it out. It's easy to tell other people that they are privileged, that they got it easy, they got lucky, because that is a way of protecting yourself from actually doing the thing. But I hope that you'll be the kind of person that will bet on themselves, that will put in the work, that will stop worshipping their parents who actually have no idea about how the world works, that you'll be the kind of person that rewrites the story in their family. Become the kind of person that people want to put in their vision boards. Become the kind of person that your nieces, that your nephews will say, I want to be like you. You can absolutely do it, but you have to stop being intellectually poor. And of course, I have to leave you with that beautiful view. Just look at that. This is my favorite. All this greenery, thanks to all the trees we planted when we were young. It's fantastic. The fruit of our labor. It takes time, but it always pays off.